Hello? Christabel?
Hello? Valentina? Is that you?
Yeah, it's me. What's up? Why did you call me at this hour?
Well, your parents asked me to call you in order to be sure that you and Camilo have arrived at Granny's shop and that it's alright. It could be done by their own, but, they're a bit busy with their business trip and all that.
Yeah, I know. By the way, it's not necessary for you to call me and worry about me. I'm fully grown up. I can take care of myself.
If you say so. By the way, it's probably that they're more worried of Camilo than any other thing. By the way, how was he?
He's alright. He's sitting in the corner of the room playing with his tablet. He wanted to explore the place, but I'm scared of letting him go around alone. When I officially start my shift, I'll send him to sleep in the back room. It's full of boxes and those things, but I adjusted it to make it more comfortable. To be honest, I feel it was dumb of my parents to have him come with me. Also, this place is a bit spooky during the night.
Spooky.
Yeah, it looks like the perfect place to make a horror movie with those overused jump scares and those cheap resources.
Come on. Don't be shy. I don't believe that ghosts and those things really exist.
I don't know if I believe that, but I feel as though one of those armors at the entrance will become alive and start moving around.
Oh, I think you have seen a lot of television, cousin. From now on, only focus on watching who enters to rob the things of the shop. Then, if you like, you can worry if the doll of your room is cursed or not.
So funny. Alright, what else did my parents say?
Well, they also asked me to try and convince you to quit that job. But I know you aren't going to do it, even if I asked you to do it. You're so obstinate.
It isn't only obscenity. I need the money. I've been more than a month without work. Also, Grandma needs my help.
I know, don't worry. I'm not going to ask you to quit, but just take care of yourself. If anything bad happens, call me, okay?
Okay, I'll have it in mind. Although I'm economically bad, I still can't pay for the phone bill.
I see. It's fine. I'll call you tomorrow then. Now, I gotta leave, because I have a early shift in the police department.
Alright. Anyway, I have to rest too. Talk to you tomorrow. Rest well.
You too. Take care. Good night. Hey, Valentina?
Hi, Cristobal. Yeah, it's me. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you? I'm sorry I couldn't call you before. I was busy for most of the day. And yesterday. Did everything go well?
Uh, yeah. I think I could say yes to that. That is, from the point of view of my own safety. However, I didn't see anyone enter or leave the store, so I still haven't found whoever is stealing the dolls.
I see. Well, at least during your stay there, they didn't take anything. Maybe all the police needs to stop the thefts is for someone to keep watch at night.
Maybe. If that is the case, maybe Grandma doesn't have to close after all, even if we don't find the thieves.
I hope so. Grandma loves her store.
I know. I've never met anyone who loved an old building so much. By the way, have you seen her? I don't know if it's just in my head, but the last time I saw her, she was a little grumpy.
I saw her on the weekend, and honestly, I noticed it too. But who knows? Maybe she's just in a bad mood from the robberies or something like that. Your father, on the other hand, has always said that it was just something bipolar.
Well, that's true. I shouldn't take it so personally, I guess. Uh, but going back to the whole robbery thing. Although yesterday I didn't see anyone enter or leave the place, there is one thing that caught my attention.
What thing?
Uh, I don't know whether to tell you or not. If I do, you'll probably laugh at me like you did last night.
Okay, I apologize for that, okay? Come on, tell me.
If I tell you, do you promise not to laugh?
Um, okay, I promise.
Okay. The thing is, last night while I was looking at the cameras, I could have sworn I saw something that. Something. I don't know. Even I think it's strange, but yesterday I could have sworn I saw some of Grandma's dolls move.
Move?
Yes, move. Changed places or positions. Sometimes they were in one room, and then after a while they were no longer there, and then I'd find them in a different room.
How? Like, if they had a mind of their own? Do you really think that it is possible? Are you sure you didn't imagine it?
It could be, but I don't know. I just think I'm so distracted. I don't know what doll was in what room. That's too much for me.
Well, who knows? Would not surprise me. In any case, now that I remember, I think that among all the antiques that Grandma keeps there, she has an old animatronic kept.
An animatronic, like the animatronics of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza?
Yeah, something like that. In fact, The animatronic in question is a Chinese copy of Freddy. I don't remember his name, but it's a bear just like him. The difference is that this Chinese version is a panda bear.
I see. So a panda bear. In any case, what does that have to do with it?
See, from what I've read, Freddy Fazbear's Pieces animatronics were programmed to walk at night. This was so that their pieces wouldn't rust, I think, or something like that, due to being still for so long. Perhaps this bear also has this function, and that is what you saw moving.
Maybe.
Stay calm, it must have been that. Oh, by the way, I also remember reading that those robots were highly sensitive to light. It seems that pointing a flashlight directly into the eyes should be enough for the software to perform a restart. Either way, I don't think it's going to do anything to you, but just in case.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Anyway, I'm not quite sure what I saw move, or at least I don't think it was the only thing. As I told you, I think it was several things of the antiques that might have moved. Even when I entered, I think I saw some small wooden dolls, but I couldn't really see them that much. Well, when I turned on the flashlight to look at them, they escaped.
That's strange. Well, if you want, I can call Grandma to ask her and I'll tell you later.
If it's okay, I would rather do it myself. But I should get to work by now. It's going to be 12 here soon.
Yeah, it's okay. By the way, before I go, how is Camilo?
He's fine. Luckily, he didn't give me much trouble last night. He played for a while on his tablet, then went to the back room to fall asleep.
I see. That's good. Well, I'll leave you to it.
Okay, thanks for calling me.
You're welcome, cousin. By the way, if you get nervous, you could try turning on your great-grandfather's old turntable. Maybe some music will relax you.
I'll keep it in mind. Good night.
Good night. I wish you best of luck. Hello?
Cristobal, you finally answered. I've been calling you for the whole damn day.
I'm sorry. My cell phone's battery ran flat, and I had to go to work. I can't use my cell phone during the job. Also, after doing my work, I had to do something else. But I'll tell you about that later. Something happened?
Yes? No? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't get it.
Keep calm, Valentina. You're too agitated. What happened?
Yesterday, I was a little nervous, so I did what you recommended. I left the old turntable on. But something strange happened with it. The music played something, I don't know, but it gave me goosebumps.
How? What music was it?
I don't know. I really wouldn't know how to say it. It wasn't really a particularly scary tune, but it gave me a strange feeling.
That is, strange.
And it doesn't end there. After a while, I swear, I started to get a headache, and I started to see a kind of face floating around me.
A face?
Yeah, a face, but it wasn't human. Well, I don't know, you'll probably call me crazy, but I swear it was a ghost. Cristobal? You still there?
Yes, sorry. I'm trying to process what you just told me and find a logical explanation for it.
Well, I wouldn't believe all this either if I hadn't seen it. And even having seen it, I'm having trouble thinking that I've gone crazy or something.
Well, the truth is, you've always been a little crazy.
Yes, but I'd appreciate it if you weren't kidding about this. I'm afraid that it's 12 o'clock.
Sorry, I'm just trying to relax you a little. Seriously speaking, stay calm. You are in a safe place. I don't think there should be anything you could fear. Just try to do your job, and if that music is making you nervous, you just have to turn it off. That's all. As for the rest, we will take care of it in due time. And I assure you that nothing will happen to you.
Turning off the music. I don't think it's that simple. I considered doing it yesterday, but it wouldn't let me.
What didn't let you?
The snowman.
The snowman? What snowman?
Obviously not a real snowman, but a kind of large figure shaped like one. He's been here in the room with me since the beginning. But the first day he did absolutely nothing. However, yesterday when I wanted to turn off the turntable, he turned it on again.
How did the snowman turn on the turntable? How can that be possible?
I don't know. I don't understand it, but I really think something very strange is happening in this place.
Huh. To be honest, with everything you're telling me, I'm starting to worry too. Let's do one thing. Tomorrow we'll go talk to Grandma together about what you saw. Perhaps all those things have some logical explanation.
Okay, let's do that, and I hope you're right.
You'll see that I'm right. But just in case, I think that tomorrow it's better that you just don't bring Camilo to that place. Regardless of the reasons, I don't think it's a suitable place for him.
Yeah, I think so too. Starting tomorrow, I'll leave him at home. I'll ask the neighbor if they can take care of him or something. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, that's better. Now, relax and listen to me. It might be a good idea to unplug the turntable even if you say that Snowman is turning it back on.
I can't do it. It's like it's glued to the outlet.
Did you, try to cut it?
Of course not. It's an antique, and it belonged to my great-grandfather. I don't think grandmother would be very amused that I did. Also, I don't know, but I have a strange hunch that it wouldn't be a good idea to try that.
Hunch. What are you now, a seer? Anyway, try not to be scared to death tonight, and we'll talk to Grandma tomorrow.
Okay, see you tomorrow then.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
It's finally 6 o'clock. It's time to go. I don't want to stay another second in this place. Camillo, wake up. Camillo, are you here? We're leaving now.
I don't think so.
Valentina, where are you?
In Grandma's store, of course. I have to find Camillo.
Are you crazy? It's dangerous. You should stay home. The complaint is already made, and your parents will come back tonight. Leave the search for Camilo to the police.
I can't do it, Cristobal. Don't you understand? I can't sit idly by for the cops to decide to act. They said they can't do anything until several days have passed since the complaint. I don't plan to wait that long.
It's part of their protocol.
I don't care about protocol. What if it's too late? You know what? Forget this. I'll find Camillo by myself.